Yes.
Jeannie and James, Duffels and Dogs.
Hi.
Hey, as promised, we are like giving videos of our everything that happens between now and the day we leave for Spain.
Which
right?
we have planned for what day? For
No later than March 15th. We want to be like on a plane. That's the so yeah. So given that time frame, we're eliciting some help.
Yes, big help. We enlisted help to get to Costa Rica from relocation specialists, and we can't imagine moving abroad in any other way than using relocation specialists. They make such a difference, and I do enough work with clients and people moving abroad and looking at what to do, and it's really not a common thing for somebody to think of that they're going to like hire a relocation specialist. So we thought, we need to bring this to people and have you understand what this is like. So with us today are Zach and Anna, and they'll introduce themselves in just a moment. But we have gotten their help, hired them to work with us on our relocation to Spain. So we're going to talk with them a little bit about what all that means today. So why don't you guys tell everybody who you are and what you do and why you're relocation specialists? What brought you to that?
Yeah, thank you so much, Jeannie. So we are Zach and Anna. We are partners in our business Start Abroad. We help expats, English-speaking expats, mostly from the US, Canada, and also from the UK, relocate to several different countries around the world. That includes Spain, Portugal, also Costa Rica, and Panama. So what we aim to do is offer our clients a full spectrum of relocation services. So everything from help with your visa, to finding a new place to live, to maybe relocating your pet. I imagine we're going to talk a little bit about that today because it is complicated for you guys.
It is complicated. Yeah.
So you guys get to move to Spain, and we're often working with people who get to move to Costa Rica or Portugal. And that should be one of the most exciting moments of your life, right? Like you're finally doing it, you're finally moving to this country that you thought about for a long time. And what should be this really positive experience can often become very overwhelming and stressful and negative. Maybe you're sinking 50 hours into research, maybe you get bad information, maybe there's somebody who doesn't have your best interest at heart, maybe you do something wrong. And so it can often become a fairly negative experience. So our whole goal is to take a lot of the stress off of your plate so that you can be as excited as you should be about getting to move to Spain or other countries.
Yeah, just enjoy it instead of having to, wade through all the bureaucracy and red tape.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of bureaucracy and red tape. So this is actually a question I have, because I don't think I ever really asked you guys, is how you got started into this line of work. I don't think I ever asked that question.
Yeah, so my background is actually in international HR. So before we started Start Abroad, I was working for startups in the tech space, large international NGOs that were operating across many different countries, and relocating international employees to those countries was a big part of my job. So, getting started with this business, it made a lot of sense. We were moving ourselves to a country not for work, and just realized like, oh, there should be a similar service as what a large international HR department would do for a company and for their employees. And so we wanted to create that type of support, that type of all-encompassing service.
You hear from a lot of people, oh, I've always dreamed of moving to Spain, but it's like, it feels insurmountable. It's something that other people do. And we realized that there's a lot of people that want to, that felt like they couldn't, or there's a lot of people that did it and it was such a negative experience, they ultimately moved back. And so because we've each moved internationally 6 times, and we've been through that personally, and then also helped people with it professionally, we wanted to help people make it possible. And so
when they're moving on their own, right? Your digital nomads, your retirees, the people that don't have like that big company support.
Yeah, no support here.
No support.
Our only support are 240.
there is support.
Or the support being friends and family who are either negative or are full of all kinds of advice that's absolutely wrong.
Or everything that will go, or telling you everything that could go wrong.
Everything. I heard that in Spain it's 90% taxes.
Yeah. We're already getting that. Yeah, absolutely.
Information.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. I've never asked you that. And then I was also wondering, and I've been calling it this, like the relocation specialist client relationship. Like,
Mhm.
you know, you're carrying us through a very important time, a big deal for us. We're getting to our family. We're taking our dogs. You know, you can't end up on the other end and find out that the paperwork and everything you do with your dogs isn't working, because they will take your dogs. So I was curious, like, what makes for a successful relationship between you guys and your clients, meaning at this moment it's you and us. You
Absolutely.
know, so what makes for a really successful relationship, so that people who are watching this can kind of figure out how to engage you guys, if they want to go to Portugal or they want to go to Spain? How do they engage you guys, and what can they do to help support a good relationship with you guys?
It's a great question. And I think the first thing to understand is that no two moves are the same. So when you guys are moving to Spain, you're going to have, so let's say we're managing 8 different aspects of the move. So you're going to do visas, you need to find a rental, might be interested in real estate, you're moving your pets, you want to think about shipping. There's a bunch of other things like phones and mail. So there's maybe
Twitch listening.
yeah, exactly. So there's maybe like 8 to 10 different categories, and you're going to move in March. And so it's like, well, what do we do about each of these categories? How do we lay out the timeline? And the truth is, there's no boilerplate right answer for everybody. No two moves are the same. And so our goal as relocation specialists is to really understand the clients, what's important to you, your priorities, budgets across different things, and then present you your options. So for pet relocation, we've already talked about it, right? Like you guys got a quote from a relocator that was really high, but there were other options. You could have gone private, you could go cargo, you could go in cab or as baggage. And so our goal was to present you your options, including prices, and then help you make the best decision for your context. And what we want to do is do that across all the categories of your move.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of how, you know, we do that effectively with your input, it's really about open lines of communication, right? Like it's a pretty obvious answer, but the way we generally structure the service for our package clients and our concierge clients is that we're having regular calls. So, you know, we want to go through and make sure that we're on track for that timeline and you're hitting all of your move goals, doing all the things you need to at certain points in time, making the decisions at the right points
Keep
in
you
time.
organized.
Yeah. So it's all about, you know, kind of staying in touch, being in regular communication. And then when we give you the tool, right, the checklist or the guide or whatever it is, reading it, and, you know, asking us questions and making sure that you understand it too. Because the only way you're going to make the right decision for you is by also engaging in the process with us.
And so it's a very collaborative process. And then the way you had asked about how people engage us. So we offer free 15-minute consultations, and we're also very happy to go back and forth via email. So that, you know, a lot of people say, oh, I want to move to Spain, but I don't know where to start. That's a very common prompt. And so what we can do is, because we've helped so many people move, we say, great, well, tell me a little bit more about your situation. This is how I recommend. And then with that information, we can make recommendations about how to start.
Very good. Yeah, I like the whole thing about staying on time. That's like, we were just driving yesterday, and we were talking about project management, getting this all done. And I'm like, okay, so we have relocation specialists that are going to watch over us. And then of course there's immigration attorneys, and their job is to watch over you. And I said to James, said, if we can't pull this off with like maybe a hitch, you know, maybe there'll be a hitch, right? Some little thing or whatever. If we can pull that off between us, you guys, and an immigration attorney, you know, there's other issues.
Right. Hopefully there's nothing that's like, you know, you get there and go, oh, sorry, you got to go back.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
no.
That's
But I can really get that if you take it on alone, because we've been there.
Yeah.
If you take this on alone and you don't understand the nooks and crannies involved in a move abroad because of the laws and regulations and immigration status and all that they go through, you can really, I mean, pardon me guys, but you can really screw up. And
Yeah.
I've heard some horror stories. I bet you guys have as well.
This happens a lot, right? So maybe I'll do a free 15-minute consultation with people to kind of tell people about our services and prices. And maybe someone thinks, oh, we'll just do it on our own. Like we'll save ourselves the $1,200 and we'll do it on our own. And then we get an email from them 5 months later being like, I tried to do this on my own. I messed up. Please help. And so one of the ways that we think about the value of our service is do it right the first time. If you are going to like, let's say you consider the value of your time $75 an hour. You're going to probably sink 50 to 100 hours of time into trying to figure this all out.
Yeah.
And so then it's like a deal, and you're not going to make any expensive mistakes. So like,
And
What about like mistakes that people make going to Spain? Anything?
Yeah.
How do you help people like get, I'm only asking because it's selfish.
absolutely.
I
There's-
was
Spain.
going to say the really interesting thing about where you guys are right now in this is that, okay, moving to Costa Rica versus moving to an EU country, to Spain, it's actually, I think, also quite different in terms of the severity of the potential mistakes. The nice thing about Costa Rica is you can waste a lot of money, I would say, on things like maybe buying the wrong car, but you probably are still going to be able to be in the country, right?
Yeah,
You'll be able to live somewhere, find, a new rental, buy a new car. It'll be okay. You can stay in Costa Rica. The important thing about, moving to a country in the EU is typically getting the visa right and all the different stages of the visa. And then a lot of other administrative components that are related to that, like getting your tax ID number, getting your social security number, all of these types of things, right? So that's what we want to be sure we're on top of and just doing it the right way.
And knowing even so something as simple as finding a rental, the short rentals versus the long-term rentals, there's a lot of nuance there. Getting the TIE, getting a rental before you have the TIE. And there's a lot of kind of things that you would overlook or think that aren't that important. Now we'll figure it out. It will absolutely tank your move to Spain. So it's just kind of having all those things in a list and knowing.
But let's not be too scare mom.
Well, I think a little, yeah,
no, in a healthy sense of.
well, we're examples of that. It is doable. I mean, we're not, what, you're 64 now, I'll be 63. We have gray hair, guys. It's very doable. We've done it. So it is good to know what all those things are and have that. So what I got so far is, so you tailor everything, because I can totally get where it's not
cookie cutter.
It's not cookie cutter. You tailor everything. I want to say online, with everybody listening, is that one of the things that already showed up for us, I want to just you to know, is we had no idea about the crate extender.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that existed. So for everybody listening, our dogs, most of you have been following us. So, we have the standard poodle. So they're very narrow. They're not heavy, but they're really long in their legs. So they need that 700 series crate, which means for their height, which means they're whacking around in there. It's not tight enough, but that's what you have. And then when we were talking with you two, we were looking at all the different options, like private's not happening. And then there's
no Lear jets for the dog.
Yeah. And then there's the private, and then there's the pet relocator places, and and then what if we went on the airline Lufthansa, and can they do a 700 series, and then maybe we have to do a wide body. It goes on like that. And then Anna sent this great thing that I didn't even know existed, which is we could maybe get our dogs into a smaller series of 500, which is easier to get on a plane. And they have this attachment, it's called an extender, that raises the 500 series so it's just a little bit taller. And it was like gold. It was like manna from heaven. I was like, I had no idea this was even an option. So I just wanted to point that out, that this is one of the things that if you don't have a relocation specialist helping you do it, you might never know that existed and end up spending a whole lot more time.
Well, more money, because if you have to do it, if you can't take them on the plane with you and you have to fly them cargo, it's a lot more expensive.
Yeah. So I just wanted to point that out. Like, there's a gem, like, never even knew that existed. I wouldn't even know to Google that.
It's all about problem solving, guys. At the end of the day, that's what it's about.
Like, how else can we get these dogs on? And like, I wouldn't know an extender or taller, or it was just fun. So that's a perfect example. And then I guess any advice that you would give anybody at this moment who are watching, because they're clearly watching us or any channel like this because of our move and what we're doing. So they are interested. So what, to kind of wrap it up, like, what advice would you give somebody who's now thinking about, let's just use Spain and Portugal as an example, that they're looking at going over to the EU, they're just starting to think about it. How could they best start to prepare for this? to kind of get ready if they want to contact you or anything? Is there anything for them to think about, or they can start to prepare now before they engage?
Or what, right, as opposed to, I'm ready to go, I'm engaging with you.
I've already sold my house.
Kind
I've
of like
sold
the,
everything.
the pre-help.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think the two big things that we love to see when someone engages us is that they have a sense of their timeline and they have a sense of their location, right? So obviously there are a lot of life things that can go into your timeline of when you want to make the move, when is it right for you. For the location side of things, we always recommend that people take trips to visit whatever country they're thinking about moving to, and that, you know, you take the vacation glasses off, you try to kind of see what it would be like to really live there to get a sense of where's right for you. And that can be as simple as, you know, for us, you know, when we were deciding where to live in the past, we've spent a week, you know, living in a potential town that we think we would like, or a potential city, and just working from there. And, you know, going shopping at the grocery store, maybe going out to eat once or twice, but trying to live more like locals. You know, maybe finding places we can engage in our typical day-to-day hobbies, or maybe looking at the hospital or the school nearby or whatever it is to try to decide what's this place really going to be like long term.
I think that's a great point. I would also add, before you've committed, right? So you guys have done a lot of research. We've also been working with you guys, so you know which visa you're going to go for, and you know that you qualify. Some people might say, oh, well, I'm going to move to Portugal, or I'm going to move to Spain. But there's actually not a good visa option yet, and there needs to be some preparation in order to qualify for a visa. So for instance, maybe you need to be, there's a visa in Portugal that you need to be making, you can't be making rental income. And so it's like, all right, well, you need to, if you own a property, you need to move out and have 3 to 4 months of bank statements before we can kind of start that process. And so I think connecting with us, doing some research about, well, I want to move in 9 months, but that means that in 3 months I need to have moved out and started to earn rental income to qualify for visa. So understanding like your visa options. The best I would just say, you can do it. So, you know, there's a lot of people who want to do it, like I mentioned earlier, and there's going to be things for a lot of people that feel like preventative, but often there's ways to manage those problems. And so,
yeah, so, you know, if you are kind of more early stage, have a loose timeline in mind, maybe like have a sense of your location, but like, okay, but how, like legally speaking, can I make it happen? Can I make it work? Please get on a consultation with us. We're happy to chat with you about what we think the options would be in your case.
www.startabroad.com, or you can email us at info@startabroad.com.
Yeah, I'll put that all in the description. Yeah, no, that's good to know. In the description. I never know. So no, that's really good to know. Like, one of the things we found out, everybody, is what kind of visa we wanted. So like in Spain, we know there's retirement, well, you say it, or the digital nomad, but there's a big difference for us.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. There's 3 major types, right? You know better than I, but you know, the one where you can't work, you can work. You got to be rich.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, we kind of stumbled on that. It's, you got to do the digital nomad one because we're still working. So even if we could show that we had the funds to be retirees, which we're not, we don't want to do that one because then you can't work. And that's like a nuance. Like if you thought, oh, like it's like where we live here, like, oh, if you think you can just do the retirement one and then go over and then you're going to work online and be, it's like, no, it doesn't work that way there. So, and James and I just
like that, right? Like some countries you can get the retirement visa and you can still work online. It's no big deal. Spain isn't like that.
Oh no, they want to know what you're up to. And full disclosure, James and I are one of those people that we've selected where, but we've never been. We kind of do this.
Well, so yeah, we were there for 36 hours.
And that was Madrid. That wasn't even where we want to go. Yeah. So just full
disclosure, we always break that rule.
Yeah.
Like everybody says, don't buy property and, you know, go to your country and rent for a year. And then before you even think about buying, look around, make sure. And we were here in Costa Rica for a week. Putting an offer on this.
I'm gonna reveal something also. when we moved to Costa Rica, I had never been in the country before. Zach had, and I just trusted him. So I understand about breaking the rules.
Yeah.
I've broken the rules.
Listen to what I say, not what I.
That's right.
Okay, well, okay, great. Well, thank you. Is there anything else before we wrap up, like that you want anybody to know, or anything you didn't get to say, or any last minute advice or anything like that?
You know, I'm just trying to think about what would be most helpful for people. I guess it's, oh, maybe timeline, actually. I would say if you are looking to move to Portugal or Spain, to start thinking about it and start making your plans, ideally a year in advance, but definitely at least 6 months in advance.
I think 6 months is leaves things.
You guys are
comfortable.
on track.
Yeah.
You're
Okay,
good.
we're on track.
Loosely thinking about.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We're rule breakers.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much. And I hope this was helpful. We'll get some feedback, let you know, but thank you so much for taking your time with us, and see ya whenever our next meeting is.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't wait.
Have a good one, guys.
All right.
See ya.